You will need washable school glue, a fine glue tip, and a hot, dry iron. Glue basting is a fantastic technique for quilting and sewing that has been used for over 20 years by professional sewists such as Sharon Chamber and her daughter Christy Fincher. Using washable school glue with a fine tip in place of pins is a very effective way to achieve precision when sewing, and it takes away the hassle of removing pins while you sew, speeding up the process. Simply place a thin line of glue at the edge of your fabric within the sewing allowance. Line up your second piece and gently press it into place with your fingers. With a hot, dry iron, press the fabric for a few seconds. This will heat set and dry the glue. This step is crucial to the glue basting process. Now you can freely take your rows to the sewing machine without any concern that things will shift. Stitch each piece with a scant 1/4 inch seam. Glue basting makes chain piecing even faster since there is no need to stop and remove pins. We will now piece together all 3 rows to finish our block. I will press my seams for each row in alternating directions so that they can be nested. Row 1 to the left, 2 to the right, 3 to the left. It is my preference to press my seams to the side, but on occasion I will press them open, which can still be accomplished even when glue basting. As an example, I plan to press the last 2 seams open, so instead of gluing the entire length of the row, I will just place a small dot of glue in between the seams of the row and on each end of the row. Carefully lining up the seams between each block on both rows. Press the fabric together first with your fingers, then heat setting the glue with your iron. Now you can double check that your seams line up perfectly before they're sewn, eliminating any fun seam ripping sessions. If the seams don't line up perfect, just pop open the glue with your fingers and try again. As a side note, you should always be using a hard pressing surface when working on patchwork. A soft, puffy surface, such as an ironing board, can cause distortion to your patchwork, ending in a wonky block. My pressing surface here is a 1/4 inch plywood covered with 1 layer of batting and 1 layer of IKEA home decor fabric. Stitch the last 2 seams with a scant 1/4 inch. For those of you who want your seams pressed open, just pop open the glued areas with your fingers. Now you can press your seams open. You will be able to glide over the seams smoothly with no leftover glue sticking to your iron. Glue basting facts. Will the glue gum up my sewing machine needles and hurt my machine? Since we are heat setting the glue with an iron, you will not experience any gumming and it is not harmful to your machine. Will the glue negatively affect my fabric or quilt? If you are using washable glue as suggested, then all the glue will wash out when you are completed. If you don't plan to wash your project, no worries, the glue will never change over time and will not harm your project. Is the glue toxic or harmful when heated? Elmer's washable school glue is a non-toxic glue that can even be safely ingested by your 2-year-old if by accident. Heating the glue is not any different than using a fusible web or interfacing for a project. What do I do if I get glue on my iron? No worries, glue comes off easily. Use a Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, water, and scrub scrub. Where can I find Elmer's washable glue in other countries outside the USA? Some countries, like Australia, are now selling Elmer's in select stores, but most countries do not. Try to find a PVA washable school glue and make sure to test it out on scraps to be sure it washes out properly. Do I have to use a fine tip? Have to? No. Should you? Yes. You definitely do not want to use too much glue or you will have a mess. A little bit goes a long way. Do I always have to press my seams to the side? What if I need them pressed open? As addressed in the video, I strongly suggest pressing your seams to the side when you can, but you can press them open. By using the glue more sparingly, you can pop open the seam allowances and press the seams open. The glue left over in the seams will not affect your iron. How do I prevent the tip from clogging? Christy Fincher came up with a great way to prevent clogging. Pins will rust, so use the plastic T-shaped tag hanger from clothing tags instead. What other ways can you use glue basting? You can use glue basting for so many different things. I glue baste when I am piecing, binding, and even when I'm putting zippers into bags. Will glue basting miraculously make my quilts perfect? Glue basting can greatly improve precision when piecing, but let's remember there is no replacement for cutting accurately, using the correct seam allowances, and being conscious of precision when quilting. Every step matters.